Good evening and welcome to Arsenal Fan TV. Hope you're all well. Welcome to Time Added On, Sunderland edition. A good performance today, I thought, by the boys. Some really good individual performances that we'll talk about later. Before we get going, if you want your view discussed this evening, then just tweet Time Added On, obviously with the hashtag. Put your thought in. And we will discuss it. Tonight I am joined by Arsenal Fan TV regular DT, and we're going to chat about the game. So DT, a good performance all round, I thought. I thought the young lads done well. I thought Iwobi done well, and Oxlade-Chamberlain impressed me today.
Yeah. It didn't impress me.
He didn't impress you?
No, Chamberlain didn't impress me.
No?
No, I'll say it as blunt as that. I felt he flattered to deceive. I think his final ball was poor. I think some of his decision making was poor. I think he's trying too hard. It summed it up at the end. He had a simple pass to put Rennie Adelaide through to have a tap in, and he overhits it. Simple ball. I just don't know where Oxlade-Chamberlain's going right now, personally. My personal opinion, that's what I believe. I just, people know my thoughts and my views of Joel Campbell the other month. Right now, Joel Campbell gets a spot in that team.
Again, yeah, he was another one I was going to mention. He really impressed me today. Very calm and composed today, I thought, Joel Campbell.
No, I thought he played really well. He done really well. I thought Iwobi done really well. So there were some good positive signs there. Looking ahead to Liverpool, I think the team kind of takes care of itself at the moment. Maybe with the exception of Alexis coming back, but even then you can't start him up at Liverpool, so you've got to keep him on the bench. So I think Campbell gets the nod ahead of Oxlade-Chamberlain for me. Okay, mate. Mems, good evening. How are you, mate?
Good evening, Craig. Good evening, DT. How you doing, mate?
Very well, mate. Very well indeed. Happy with that. We're just discussing a few individual roles there as we're waiting for the tweets to come through. Yeah, I said I was pretty impressed with Oxlade-Chamberlain. I thought he'd done well today. DT disagrees.
Yeah.
How did you think he went?
I thought he did okay. I think with the Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's got a few fans that don't particularly, a bit harsh on him. He can't seem to do anything right, the lad. Even when he has a decent game, people pick out the faults. But I thought he contributed quite a lot today. I thought it was quite impressive. His distribution was okay. Got caught out a few times, but I thought a few players didn't really perform that well. I mean, Koscielny was at fault for one of the goals, wasn't he? Kieran Gibbs had made a few mistakes, but yeah, everyone wants to pick out the Ox,
no, don't get me wrong. Oxlade-Chamberlain did make a few mistakes. DT, pulled out his mistakes. He did make a few mistakes. He did make some poor decisions, but I thought overall,
I thought he
for the 90 minutes, for the time he was on the pitch, I thought he'd done all right.
He done okay. I was very impressed with young Iwobi. I thought, I agree with DT, on that. He played particularly well today. Young Iwobi, I thought he looked very elegant on the ball. He looked dangerous. He wasn't scared to have a shot. Adelaide, when he came on as well for his final 10 minutes, he seems to glide when he's got the ball, doesn't he? He looks very graceful. Ramsey, when he came on, he added a bit of urgency. I thought we played well. We got through to the next round. It was a difficult tie. Credit to Sunderland. They came along and they gave it a go, didn't they? It was quite nervous at one point. They hit the bar. They created a few chances. I'm happy with the win. So
same.
Let's see who we get. I don't know when the draw is for the next round.
I don't either. I don't know. Is it tonight or tomorrow night? I suppose it'll be tomorrow night, will it?
That they make a big song and dance of it now, don't they, for TV reasons? So which means it'll probably be on Monday night.
During the one show, just before EastEnders.
Probably after EastEnders or something. Or they might get Dot Cotton to release the balls from the British. I mean, do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I haven't actually checked to see. So whoever you get, don't you?
Absolutely.
With the holders, we're going to try and win it for the third time. First team to do it. So whoever we get, we get. You know, last year we was all cursing our luck when we drew Man United away, and it turned out to be one of the performances of the season. So,
DT, wasn't you a bit surprised that Debussy didn't start today?
No, I wasn't, because I think he's gone.
Okay.
I think he's gone. I think that's a clear indication that he's gone. Because, you know, let's just say for argument's sake, he went and said, yeah, he's gone next week, but we'll play him today. And then he goes and gets injured.
Right.
So I think that was the clearest indication. I don't think he was on the bench, was he?
No, I don't think he was, no.
I think that's a clear indication that he's gone, and that Arsenal kind of accepted it as well, that he's going. So I think this Egyptian guy is going to go as the cover for the defensive midfield, and Callum Chambers will go as the cover at the right back.
Fair enough. I don't think Chambers had his particularly a good game today. He didn't cover himself in glory, did he?
No, he didn't.
So,
for me, Callum Chambers doesn't look composed enough on the ball to be playing in that position.
No.
But every time he got the ball, he looked nervous. He looked so nervous every time he got the ball. He was, you know, trying to get rid of it as quick as he could. There was some good bits, but unfortunately for Callum Chambers, I thought today looked very nervous, and as I say, not composed enough on the ball to be playing in that position for me.
Can I say that for me, I think we started to see the last two games, and especially today, the Hector Bellerin back to his old self again.
Oh yeah.
I noticed it in the first few minutes against Newcastle last week, and in the game, and he was making them bombs down the right, and he was beating people, and he was being dangerous. And you know, I commented on his crossing a couple of weeks ago and said, "What's happened to it? It's shocking." You know, what's happened ever since his injury. But we've got to remember, he's a young lad. He's going to have dips during the season, and he's going to have them little lulls and whatnot. It's how he comes out the other side, and it looks like he's coming out the other side now, and we're starting to see the best of Hector Bellerin again, and just at the right time when we need it as well.
Absolutely. 2 assists today for Bellerin.
I reckon Ozil,
and the second one was beautiful, wasn't it?
Ozil was hiding inside him.
Yeah.
Can I say something about
Ozil
today as well? I mean, there was probably a few guys that were at the game today who might not have seen, but during the game, Mesut Ozil was tweeting throughout the whole game. And I think it was really refreshing for a player of his calibre that's been given a week off to rest, but yet he was still at the game, still supporting the players. He was taking pictures from himself, you know, updating his tweets. And I thought, for me, I think that was really nice, because in the past we've seen, like, I think Fabregas, wasn't it, that was given a week off, and he ended up going to watch the Formula One.
That's right.
I think it's really nice that Ozil, even though he didn't play, he was still at the stadium today, sort of supporting the team, and it must be really, you know, credit to him.
Absolutely. Now let's get to some tweets from you guys who are watching. Like I said, remember, if you want to get your tweets in, just write your tweet, but you must include the hashtag time added on. That's where I'm reading them from on Twitter. So just use that hashtag. And if we've got time, we'll do them all. If we run out of time and your question doesn't get on, there's always next time. So let's get to the first tweet. This one comes in from Rohan, and he says, "We were good offensively, but defensively today we were poor. Joel and Hector Bellerin were brilliant." DT, we'll come to you on that one first, mate. Offensively good, but defensively poor.
Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up, really. I think we always had enough offensively to win the game, but there were still some hairy moments in defence. Most notably was Koscielny. You know, we see him do that kind of thing on the edge of the box week after week, and he normally gets away with it, and we're like, oh, brilliant play. But then once he gets caught out and concedes a goal, you're like, you twat.
Yeah.
You know, it's sod's law, isn't it? So I think Gabriel was solid. Didn't put a foot wrong for me. You know, made a silly challenge right at the end. But game was already done by then, even if they'd scored that free kick. But, you know, I think we're a little bit weaker without Monreal playing. And that's the thing. I think when you watch Kieran Gibbs come in, he does a job and he gets on with his business. And I love the fact that Kieran Gibbs knows he's not first choice at Arsenal. He knows he's not playing week in, week out, and you never hear a thing out of him. Never hear like any grumbles or moans or anything like that. He just gets on with his job, does what he's got to do, and that's it. But we miss Monreal. So yeah, it's offensively good, defensively quite poor, but we've done the job.
Mems, what do you make of that tweet from Rohan now?
Yeah, I mean, Rowan's got a point, and DT touched on a lot of it. I think we did miss Monreal at the back, but also I think what we're missing a lot as well at the moment is Coquelin. He's breaking, the way he breaks down the attacks. I think Sunderland were hitting us a couple of times today on the counter. Callum Chambers was playing in a defensive midfield player role, and I don't think he had the positional sense to get back and to break up the play. So I think we're missing Coquelin now. We did make some mistakes. DT's right, Koscielny made a bit of a mistake for their goal, but and the pass was given to him on his weaker foot. He had to control it, and then someone nicked in. Maybe he was just best off just hoofing it out first time. But saying that, we had a lot to our game today. It was nice to see us creating so many chances as well. Over the last couple of weeks, I don't think we've created enough chances. I tweeted during the game, I thought Giroud was pretty quiet at one stage of the game, and then when he scored his goal, he sort of came alive, didn't he? So I'm quite happy with the performance. And there was some scary moments, but we got the win, which is the main thing.
Absolutely. Next tweet comes in from Matthew Gooner 24. Thanks for your tweet, mate, and good evening. Oxlade-Chamberlain should start against Liverpool in a replacement for Flamini. He was fantastic today. TT.
Bloody hell.
I'm going. See you later.
See you later, mate.
I must have been watching a different game. Seriously, I really must have.
I
was not impressed by him one bit. He's trying too hard. He's trying far too hard. He's sloppy. He's losing the ball. Go back and watch the game again and go and count how many times he lost the ball. There was one where he was on the edge of the box and he tried one of these, the Ronaldinho thing where they with their leg and he ballses it up and they break away from it and whatnot. And it's just, I think Oxlade-Chamberlain right now needs to go back to basics. He needs to go back to what he was good at when he first come to the club and what attracted us to him. I think he needs to do the simple things again and start cutting out all the unnecessariness, because this is what's getting him complicated with everything. And I didn't see anything there from him today. There was just nothing there for me. I just wasn't impressed by him. He run himself into the ground. He worked hard, yes, but no, to start him at Liverpool in that central role. No chance. Would you trust him and Ramsey in that central defensive role at Anfield, even though they've got the injuries they've got? No chance. No.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd be playing him there against Liverpool. But like I said, and like I touched on before, personally, I thought he played well today. I thought he played well. I thought he run the ball out of midfield well. He passed the ball well. But yeah, I do hear what you're saying. I found myself, Ox, while I was watching it, he's losing the ball, a few misplaced passes. But in my opinion, I thought he played well today. Mems, to start him at Liverpool as central defensive midfielder, I can't see that happening. What do you reckon?
Everyone knows I'm a massive Oxlade-Chamberlain fan, and I think sometimes people pick out the negative things but ignore the positive things, and I thought he'd done a few good things today. He broke up the play quite well. His distribution was pretty good. I think for the third goal, he was instrumental in the third goal, laid off a nice pass to the wing, and I think he contributed quite well. But to actually start him, I agree with DT, to start him in a game of that magnitude in a position where he's unfamiliar with is not really the right thing to do. I think the problem with the Oxes is that because he knows his starting place or his starting time is quite limited, he's really trying to impress, and that's why he's trying so hard. And obviously when you're trying things that are not natural, you're going to make mistakes. So I think he just needs a bit of confidence, and he just needs a run of games. I agree with you. If he's going to start, he's got to be on the wing where he's most effective. But I want to start him in the middle against Liverpool now.
Okay, Matthew, thanks for your tweet. I hope that answers the question. This one comes in from Smith at Smith Mahita A.F.C. Joel Campbell is simply undroppable at the moment. DT, your friend Joel Campbell. People think he's undroppable at the moment. Now, he did play well today.
Yeah.
Very composed.
Nice
His passes were his passing was great. They were the exact weight for the little through balls he was playing. And the goal he scored, I thought, was a very accomplished finish. Now, when that ball was coming to him, I was expecting it to go over the roof. But no, an accomplished finish into the bottom corner.
No. Well, this is the thing. It's, you know, if you rewind a couple of months ago and you were to sit there and say that Joel Campbell would be more of an automatic choice than Oxlade-Chamberlain, everyone would have laughed at you. But I think that's a credit to the player himself, you know, because he's knuckled down, he's got on with his job, he's been shipped out left, right and centre over the last few years. I know a lot of it wasn't anyone else's fault other than the fact that he had to gain citizenship and to get his passports and whatnot. But yeah, he's doing the job right now. You know, obviously he's watched my videos and he's taken my abuse on board. He doesn't like being called Naomi. He doesn't thought, you know what, I'm going to go out there and sort that out. So yeah, I take full credit for that. But yeah, seriously, he's doing really well. At the end of the day, right? Let's be honest. When Alexis come back, he's not going to be ahead of Alexis. That's the be all and end all. But there's still another position to fight for. You know, because we know that left and right hand side, they interchange a lot during games. And I know that Walcott's been used there the last few weeks. And although he hasn't been scoring, he's been doing well on the wing. You know, there's going to be times when Walcott's going to play up front instead of Giroud. So there's the position go in. It's kind of a healthy competition. And it's what we want to see as fans. We want to see that. So I can't knock the guy. You know, I'm big enough to eat humble pie, man, and at the end of the day, he's proving me wrong. Is he that step up? No, not yet, but he could prove me wrong again.
Yeah, he could make it.
Yeah, he could make it. I think what he now needs to add to his game is more goals. You know, and we discussed this a few weeks ago with the left and the right hand positions. You look at players that play in them positions that are that level up. And that's what you go by. That's what you want them to be. And you look at the likes of Alexis, and you see how many assists and goals he gets. That's the level he's got to get up to. If you go into the past of Arsenal history of players on that side, you look at Robert Pires and Freddie Ljungberg. You know, players that would chip in with 10+ goals a season and 10+ assists. That's what Campbell now needs to do to take that next step. 10+ goals, 10+ assists, and be consistent.
Can't say I wouldn't disagree with that, mate. Mems, Joel Campbell, how did he do for you today?
It was fantastic, wasn't he? I mean, his work rate was fantastic. His finish was good. He contributed a lot to the team as well. He put a couple of lovely little through passes there as well. I think what I'm interested in as well is that I think Joel Campbell potentially could be a player that's going to be used as an impact player when things ain't going particularly well in some games. He's going to be on the bench, maybe we can throw him on. I'll be interested to see if Joel Campbell can probably play up front as well. I know his time during when he was on loan at Olympiacos and when he plays for Costa Rica. I know he plays as a striker in a 4-4-2. So that is another option that we could potentially use. You know, when Alexis comes back, as DT said, you know, Alexis got to start on that left. And then there's another position up for available on the right-hand side. Is it going to be Theo? Is it going to be Joel Campbell? Is it going to be the Ox? But I think some situations as well, when we need a goal, and you've got Joel Campbell on the bench, you can shove him on and put him up front. He seems very comfortable in finishing. You know, that finish today was, you know, it wasn't easy. It was coming to him at speed at an awkward height, and he was composed and he passed it into net. He didn't lash it. He didn't try and hit it too hard. And I think he's a very good finisher. I'm impressed with the boy. I mean, like many people, I was a bit unconvinced when he first turned up, but I think he's proved a lot of people wrong. Almost like Coquelin last year, he's got his opportunity and he took it, and he deserves a lot of credit. And I think he's doing really well at the moment. There's talk about him getting a new contract as well. I see a few reports this morning, so let's see. I think he's doing really well, and he's proving a lot of people wrong.
Absolutely, and one of those people he's proved wrong is me. I remember when he first came, and I was saying, "What is this lad doing here? How is this boy Arsenal quality?" He probably isn't up there with the players that DT mentioned just yet, but he has the chance to do it. And like I said, if players and people want to make me eat big slices of humble pie, like DT says, bring it on. Bring it on.
At the end of the day, what's good is that we've got someone of the caliber of Alexis in our team. So it's, you know, you're not looking out from a distance at all these other clubs like Barcelona and whatnot and going, oh, look at that player, look at that player. You kind of, you know, Joel Campbell only has to look in-house. He gets to train with a guy week in, week out. And if you can't learn from someone like Alexis Sanchez, then you're in the wrong profession. So, you know, you look how many youngsters came through around the Invincibles era. The reason why was because they were training with the likes of Bergkamp and Henry and Pires and all these world-class footballers. You can't help but learn. So, yeah, let's take it one step at a time. But Joel Campbell is definitely proving me wrong, definitely. And I'm actually calling him Joel. Even though I think
that's good. That's good. I never thought I'd be doing a show where you call him Joel. So I'm absolutely delighted that you just called him Joel.
But another thing about Campbell as well is that his appetite to win the ball back when he loses it. I mean, we've seen in the past with Podolski and Arshavin, you know, they were gifted players and probably, you know, more skillful and better finishers than Joel Campbell in some aspects. But it was their unwillingness to track back, and that's something Joel Campbell's prepared to do. And I think that's probably why a lot of fans have taken to him, because you can see him running back, putting in tackles. You know, he puts everything into a game. So, you know, he's getting a lot of credit, but that comes with hard work as well. So he's doing well.
And
that's a very good deserves it. Podolski, you know, because if Podolski done the run work that Joel Campbell does, he'd be an Arsenal player still now.
He would.
So, you know, Wenger, you know, everyone knows what Wenger's like. He likes people that do things in different positions and play here, play there, do this, do that. You're not part of the project, then there you go.
Absolutely. This next tweet comes in from Jopper. And he says, Walcott and Giroud massively need to step up their games. Both hid for most of the game today. We have to go and sign a top quality forward. I'd have to agree with that full-heartedly. If there's going to be any negativity today, this will be it. Olivier Giroud today, I mean, I think he touched the ball 5 times today, and one of them was a tap-in, Mems. People talk about, you can only, you know, people talk about service. He didn't get any service. Hang on now a second. Not getting a service as a striker, surely you're going to drop back and look for the ball a bit deeper. But he didn't even do that, did he?
No.
Just walking around. If he'd have had pockets, he'd have had his hands in them.
You're right, Greg.
Giroud, mate. Right. What was wrong with him today?
Do you know what? It's a worry for me, the centre forward position, because Giroud over the last 3 or 4 games has been quite anonymous. You know, he linked up quite well and had an assist, didn't he, for Ozil. But apart from that, he hasn't been doing much. His work rate isn't there. You know, like you said, as a striker, you rely on service. But I played as a striker, and if you ain't getting the service, you drop deep. You start demanding the ball. You get involved with the link-up play, or you start closing down. He isn't really getting that many touches during the game. He's not really getting involved during the game. You don't see him really testing the goalkeeper with that many shots. It's a worry for me, because I've defended Giroud a lot over the years, and I continue to defend him, but it seems quite worrying that he's almost dropped 5 or 10%. And the worry for me is that Theo, when he's been given his opportunities to play up front, or he hasn't really looked clinical either. There was one game in particular a couple of weeks ago when he played up front, and Ozil gave him like 4 or 5 chances, and he didn't score. So it's a concern for me that if we want to win the league, if we want to do well against Barcelona, we really need a striker on top of his game at the moment and scoring goals. And it's a concern for me, because Giroud is blowing hot and cold, Theo's blowing hot and cold. You know, if it was available, I'm sure Wenger would go out and spend big money and bring in a striker. But everything's got to be right, and it's a concern for me. It just seems like we they're not 100% at the moment, and it's a worry for me, because in some games, we've got some big games coming up. We're not going to get massive amount of chances. So we need our strikers to be, on the ball and be clinical. It's a worry for me about Giroud at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, DT, we've discussed him on different occasions, and you're quite a believer that Giroud will play well when he knows that someone is challenging for his spot.
Yeah.
So do we then? Is it then that Theo and Giroud can't play on the same pitch together?
Well, yeah, because at the moment Giroud's position isn't under threat because Walcott's having to play elsewhere because of injuries. I see what Mems was saying about the chances Theo missed a few weeks ago, but I'll put that down to the fact that he was only just come back, and you kind of pull it down to rustiness, because I go by what he was like before he was injured. And the one thing that people have forgotten, and we haven't seen this yet, since Theo's come back, we haven't seen Alexis, Theo and Ozil together. Now, before Theo got injured, them three were frightening. Absolutely frightening. Just go back to the likes of Man United and what we did to the likes of them. And the three of them, they just cause nothing but problems. And it was Giroud's form at that time when he was coming on as a substitute and scoring goals was based on the hard work that the likes of Theo and that had done for 70 minutes before he'd come on, because they'd run defenders into the ground. And then by the time Giroud come on, he had that nice 20 minutes where it was like, yeah, cheers, lads.
Yeah.
Thanks for tiring them out for me. You know, you look at Leicester away and the way that Ozil and Alexis and Theo cut Leicester apart. Leicester have lost twice this season? Is it twice? Yeah, twice.
Yep, twice. The only team to beat them at home, I think, haven't we?
They haven't lost at home apart from us. And I just think that right now Theo's doing a job. He's covering. I think that Wenger does think that he's a striker. And I think that once Alexis comes back, you might see Theo move up front again. And then the likes of Joel Campbell probably on the right-hand side, Alexis on the left, Ozil sitting in the middle, and then Theo up top. And then that might wake Giroud up.
Yep.
You know, that might kick him up the backside again. Because right now, again, like I've always said, who's going to take Olivier Giroud's place right now? Because you could go, okay, play Theo up top. But then you go, right, well, with Alexis not playing, who's going to go right and left? You could put Joel Campbell on one, but is Oxlade-Chamberlain doing enough to take another berth? I don't think he is. This is the problem. I just think that I think that once Alexis is back, I'm praying it's this week. I weren't too overfilled with confidence at Wenger's comments this week about Alexis. That kind of stinks of setback, and he might be a few more weeks away yet. But I'm praying that he's on the bench at least on Wednesday. So because it's been about 5 weeks we've been without him now. So and that'll give the team a lift as well.
Oh, massive
lift. Seeing that guy there. You know, 20 minutes to go. You imagine at Anfield, 20 minutes to go, and we need a goal. It's 1-1 or something. We need to nick a goal, and you look over, and even Liverpool's players' faces look over and think, oh, fucking hell.
Here he comes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It makes the world of difference, mate.
Absolutely.
So, but I just, yeah, I do worry as well, like Mem says, that, you know, we're relying on other people to score goals and we're kind of scraping through. But at the moment, I'll take scraping through while we've got the injuries we've got. So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, if there's anything like I said, you know, if there's anything positive to say, we are top of the league with the injuries that we've got. You know, once these players start to filter back into the team, hopefully we won't just be scraping through. You know, hopefully we'll be, you know, playing good football and beating teams 3-4-0 again, and you know, and really pushing on.
He's back in training this week as well, isn't he?
Who?
Rosicky.
Believe so. And who was it that was running again? Coquelin. Training and running again. So
I think Rosicky could, you know, because let's be honest, this is Rosicki's last few months at Arsenal Football Club. You know, what better way for him to bow out after 10 years or so at the club?
Lifting the trophy. Lifting the trophy at the Etihad.
No, well, we won't lift it at the Etihad because we've got a game after that. So they don't let you lift it there, do they? I think the only time I've ever been there when they've done that was at Anfield in '89 because.
Well, we're Arsenal fans. Can't we get a petition going on Twitter or something? Yeah.
Hey, listen, I think that
we've got petitions for everything else.
Mate, Man City have got so much money. I'm sure that they could squash that petition somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if any of the sheiks and that are watching, if you write me a blank check out, I will make sure that the petition doesn't get started. They won't notice it.
Okay, let's go back to some tweets. This one comes in from Bilal at Bilal Alexis. Would you bring Alexis straight back into the team when he's fully fit?
No.
Yes.
No.
For me, yes. Straight away, boom, there you go. If he's fully fit, straight back in for me.
No, not if it's Liverpool on Wednesday that his first game's back. I think the magnitude of the game, I think it's kind of saying already, we need you. Listen, the one thing we don't want is for him to play. We moan about injuries and stuff like that. So let's actually just for once in our lives trust what they're actually doing with him, because I would rather Alexis be bedded back in over the next couple of weeks than him go and play, for instance, against Liverpool, high intensity game, running around, ping, hamstring goes, and he's out for 6 weeks or so. I just think that, today might have been a good game for him to have got 60 minutes under his belt. Then I would have sat there and said, yeah, let's start him against Liverpool. He's got 60 minutes under his belt. But Liverpool's too big a game on Wednesday night to just go throw him in, no matter how much he's chomping at the bit and trying to rip his lead off his neck and whatnot. So, yeah, just bed him in nicely. Let's just reserve him up on Wednesday night and keep him if he's needed.
Mems, Alexis Sanchez comes to you. You're the manager of Arsenal, comes knocking on your door. Boss, I'm fit. I'm 100% fit. I want to play Wednesday night. What'd you say to him?
I'll start him on the bench, unfortunately, mate, because I don't think we haven't done bad without him in the team, have we? The team's doing well. If we would have lost a number of games in his absence and he came knocking on my door and said, I want to play, I'm fit, and yeah, take the gamble. But at the end of the day, the team's playing well. We're picking up wins. I think DT's right. It's such a big game that, it's going to be a high-intensity game, so we can't risk him snapping that hamstring and being injured. So for me, I'll put Alexis Sanchez on the bench. And if it's not going well, you bring him on after 60 minutes or something like that. If it's going well, you just keep him on the bench and keep him fresh for the next game. So, unfortunately, it's a tough call, but that's why managers are paid to make those decisions. But I would start him on the bench.
Okay. This next tweet comes in from Jackson. This is Jackson. Thanks for the tweet, mate. Do we think that Gabriel deserves first pick at centre back in front of Mertesacker?
I think we've answered this 100 times. I think he does. I think Mems believes he does. I think 90% of the Arsenal fan base believes he does, but the one person who makes the decisions don't. So what can we do?
Yeah, exactly. Very true. But yeah, to answer the question, Jackson, absolutely. I think Gabriel should.
I think all you have to do is look at Gabriel's performance a couple of weeks ago when Koscielny was out, and he played an absolute blinder in that game. And then he was dropped against Newcastle.
Yeah.
And you kind of sit there and go, what more do you need to do? He scores, puts in a great performance, and he still drops. So, yeah, I don't think that he's, as much as I want him there, he ain't going to be part of the first team right now.
Mems, what about you, Gabriel, mate? Does he deserve a start?
Yeah, of course he does, mate. I mean, to be honest with you, every time Gabriel's come into the team, I thought he's done, he's done his job well. He's been impressive. Like DT said, once you get your position or you get your chance. Sorry, I just had to charge my phone. It was going dead. Right, once you get your chance, you've got to take it, and he's taken it. So, what more can he do as a player? He's taking his opportunities, playing well. The problem is that Pierre Mertesacker's our captain. So, if you drop him, it's a big statement, isn't it? So I think what Wenger's trying to do is trying to find the right moment to put him in the team. And as we've seen in the past, sometimes Wenger relies on injuries to give players an opportunity. So I think maybe he's relying on maybe Mertesacker or Koscielny to pick up an injury. It's tough. It's really tough. But I like Gabriel, but I think his time will come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good point, what Mem said, because if you remember, Gabriel at the start of the season, he got in the team because Mertesacker was ill. Not because he was given a chance. So, and then what kind of got Gabriel out was when he got the suspension. So, you sit there and think, well, if he never got that game suspension and the Diego Costa incident, maybe he might have not been kicked out. And so, yeah, that's a good point what Mems is saying there, that, Wenger does kind of rely on that. And I think that's the only way Gabriel's going to get in right now. Because we've shocking performances from Mertesacker lately, and he's still playing.
Yeah, it's one of them baffling ones. We do get them baffling ones every other week, and that's one of them.
Do you know what? I noticed something today. Maybe it is still to do with the language, because when Gabriel got injured today, Colin Lewin come on, and when he was treating him, Bellerin came over, and he was relaying to Colin Lewin what was actually wrong. So Gabriel couldn't actually talk to Colin and say to him, I've fallen over, I've twisted my ankle, it's this or that. Bellerin had to translate for him.
That's interesting. I didn't pick up on that.
Maybe that's still the main reason why, because he isn't fluent in our language yet.
Yeah, interesting point. Like I said, I never picked up on that. Good spot, DT. Good spot.
Don't worry about that. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, DT, I mean, I used to play in the Greek league, and I couldn't speak a word of Greek. And football it's one of those games where you don't really need to say much whilst you're playing. I'm sure you played as well. You've got to know the basics. But if you're going to communicate with someone and say you've got an injury somewhere, it's a lot more challenging. But once you're on the pitch, everyone knows what push up or hold or it's basic words. I think he's getting by. I don't think the language is the problem. I think it's just Wenger's just doesn't really want to disrupt the partnership between Mertesacker and Koscielny at the moment. And I think that's more to do with it there.
It's selfishly, am I really selfish in saying this, but I hope kind of Mertesacker gets another case of the flu like the game before we play Barcelona.
That's a big game, isn't it? And to be honest with you,
and we shouldn't be having to hope that Mertesacker gets the flu. What should be happening is the manager should look at it and say Mertesacker is too slow to play against this lot. I need Gabriel.
Mate, that's for another program, man. Don't get me started, especially with Mems here as well, because everyone will be like, "This is a Wenger out program."
All right, let's move on swiftly. This is an interesting one. This comes in from at Young Gun, Chris John. Thanks you very much for your tweet, mate. Did Arsene Wenger give Adelaide enough time on the pitch today? I don't think he did. 10 minutes.
No, I think
for me. I think I surely would have bought him on before that.
I think we all agree. I even tweeted any danger of bringing Jeff on.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
I would have liked him to have come on. But I think the problem was it was quite a tricky time. Sorry to cut you off there, Craig.
Right, mate.
I mean, when we went 2-1 up, they hit the bar, didn't they, at one point, and it was quite, it was in the balance to bring a player on at that point of time. I think Wenger wanted to make sure that the game was won before he brought him on. So I think that's probably why he waited so long as what he did. But I would have loved to have seen him brought on because he's such a talent. But I'm sure Wenger knows the right time to bring these players on. He's got much more experience than all of us, and he knows. And he's a manager for how many years? He's got young talents in there. He's done it with Anelka. He's done it with Fabregas. He's done it with Jack Wilshere. He knows the time when to bring on players. But it's just exciting times for us as fans when we've got a player with that ability and that talent. We want to see them, don't we?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Bit like Iwobi as well, who I'd just like to mention was brilliant today.
He was.
I believe that was only his second start, wasn't it? Was it Sheffield Wednesday and today?
Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah. I think that he was thrown like a case of being thrown to the lions that day. You didn't have the quality around you that what was there today, so to speak. There was a lot more changes. Sheffield Wednesday. That was a night to forget, man. Jesus.
It was a night to forget that one. But today I thought he was brilliant. His passing was brilliant. His hold-up play was great. I've no complaints for Iwobi today. Nice to see him getting a standing ovation as well. Which leads me on to this tweet. Gunner.
Brought off too early. I thought he was brought off too early. I can't.
Yeah.
And you know what? When have you ever noticed Arsene Wenger make a substitution after 65 minutes unless it was enforced? And I was sitting there thinking, hold on a minute, you don't do this. You're doing a double substitution after 65. Blimey. So, I was really impressed with Iwobi today. I hope to see more of him. I just hope that now this ain't going to be the last time you see him for weeks and weeks and weeks or in the next round of the Cup, dependent on who we get. Because this is the problem. We see it today and we kind of watch that and we go, oi, he looked decent. I want to see more of him. I want to see a bit more. Brought him on at Newcastle for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, that was...
And it's like, what's the point?
Another baffling moment.
you know, we want to see this. We want to see these youngsters, and you know, those are the two that look like the ones that are pushing to make that step up. Iwobi and Rennie Adelaide, and we're excited. As Mem said, I want to see more of them. So, you know, let's go and win the league with about 8 games to go, and then play a minute.
What we can do is beat. You know, we've got Barcelona in the 2-leggers. What we can do is absolutely demolish Barcelona in the first game, and then we can play we can play the kids in the second game. That'd be good.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
God, don't start that.
Mate, I've had too many Red Bulls, so I don't know.
I'm already worried about playing Barcelona with our first 11. Jeez. But that's a long way away. Let's just deal with the Premiership for now. Let's try and put a marker down. Let's really start to stamp our place and cement it up the top.
Our authority, yeah, absolutely. This one comes in from Uzzy Arsenal. Can we win the treble?
Fucking hell, man. Has he been on the Red Bull as well? What's he been on? He's been on more than bloody Red Bull. Listen.
Of course we can. Of course we can win the treble, West Man. Of course we can. Of course.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
Everything's possible, but there are some people out there who genuinely do believe that we can do it, and they are the reason why we get laughed at as Arsenal fans. So, look. Listen, if you would have asked any Man United fan in '99, I think it was, do you think that they could win the treble? No one would have probably said it. You need a lot of luck on the way. A lot of luck. You even go back to that United team. FA Cup semi-final. Dennis Bergkamp misses a 120th minute penalty. Game was over. Dennis bloody Bergkamp, of all people.
Yeah.
Iceman. Only has to put it in the net. They're out of the cup. No treble. Bayern Munich in the final. When have you known that? 1-0 down, Champions League final, going to injury time, and then score 2 goals. Come on. There's a lot of luck involved. A lot of luck involved. So, and I believe we handed them the title that year as well. We threw it away to Leeds, if I remember. We drew 0 there or something when we should have won. Yeah. So, like we said, anything's possible. But I wouldn't put my house on it.
No. No. This one comes in from at JJ Acronym. Giroud scored today and has been almost consistently scoring. Why can't we just praise him? Simple fact there is, JJ, is that today he wasn't very good. So I've nothing to praise him about. Yes, he scored.
His overall play, man.
Yeah, I'm not. What you must understand is that we're going to talk about their performances from game to game. Yes, he might have been good last week. Yes, he might have been good the week before. But today he was poor. Yes, he scored a tap in, but his overall play today wasn't great, was it? Let's face it. Watch Match of the Day tonight and see how many times the commentator mentions his name. If he says it 5 times, I'll be surprised. So I hope I answered your question there, JJ. This one comes in from Ross, the de facto DJ at DJDT. Spot on about Theo. He should start up front when Alexis comes back. Yeah, I think we're all agreed on that, aren't we?
There is someone else out there with a brain as mighty as mine.
I don't know about that, man. I don't think it could.
I'll send you that 20 quid later, mate.
That's DT tweeting in from his second account. Actually, that's what it was.
Yeah. All right, we've got about 5 minutes to go, lads. We've gone through most of the tweets, so I'll give you 5 minutes to get some tweets in while we talk about.
There is one tweet that's just come through to me, Craig, and someone's asked me about Benik Afobe. Obviously, Afobe was an ex-Arsenal player, and it looks like he's signing now for Bournemouth for 10 million. And people are asking me why he never got an opportunity at Arsenal. I think at the time, Wenger had to make a decision between Benik Afobe and Yaya Sanogo. They're both very similar in ages. And for the people that are a little bit older, I mean, you know, people that remember, there was a similar scenario many years ago with Andy Cole and Kevin Campbell. They both came through at Arsenal at the same time, and George Graham had to make a decision which one to keep, which one to sell. He picked to keep Kevin Campbell, and he allowed Andy Cole to leave. And Andy Cole obviously became this great goal scorer and won the treble with everything. And Kevin Campbell didn't probably have the career as what everyone expected him to have at a young age. Benicophobe, we've allowed Benicophobe to leave, and we've kept Yaya Sonogo. Sonogo's had a couple of seasons at Arsenal, never scored a league goal. He went on loan to Palace, never scored a goal at Palace apart from the FA Cup. He's now at Ajax, and he's not really delivering at Ajax.
He's in the reserves, I think, at Ajax.
He's in the reserves, yeah.
I mean,
yeah. And you look at Benicophobe, the record that he's had over the last couple of years. I mean, he scored a hat-trick against Man United when he was at Milton Keynes Dons. He's banging 30 goals a season at Wolves. I think sometimes we've been linked potentially with Troy Deeney and other strikers there. We've got a striker there in Benicophobe, which potentially he could have done a good job at Arsenal. And I think sometimes that we've got to start trusting these kids. And we're talking about Iwobi and we're talking about Adelaide. If they don't get the chance at Arsenal, then potentially we could be missing a trick, and they'll go off to other clubs and they'll come back to haunt us. Absolutely,
mate. We've missed a big trick with him. I personally believe we've missed a massive trick with him. Selling him, I think we sold him once Sonogo came in. Am I right in saying that? But to compare, I can't see whoever was comparing the two players said, yeah, let's keep Sonogo. You can let Afobe go. I believe that Sonogo is a better striker than Benicophobe. DT, who in God's name has made that comparison?
I don't know, let me know.
And if he's still working at Arsenal, how?
Mate, I don't even need to answer it. I'm baffed. I don't even know how Yaya Sonogo is a footballer. I just, seriously, do you know what I mean? Mate,
yeah, exactly. It's one of the, but yeah. What can you say? You can't say nothing about that.
I haven't seen anything. The guy scored 4 goals in the Emirates Cup, yeah, and he fell over when he celebrated. Yeah, he tripped over his own bloody feet then. Oh, mate, I can't stand him. It's just no.
But it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us at the moment because we do need that striker. And then you look and you see Afobe scoring 30 goals a season, but he was never given that opportunity over at the Arsenal. And something's not right there. If we've got talented players like that at Arsenal and they're not getting the opportunity, someone's got to ask some serious questions there. Because why are we signing players from abroad? Why are we going out and investing money and giving players like Sonogo an opportunity? But when we've already got that player at the club, it doesn't make sense. And I know sometimes fans want to see signings, and of course we're all excited when we sign a player. But we've got to start trusting the youth as well sometimes, because these players, if they don't get the chance at Arsenal, they'll go elsewhere, and then we'll say and say, do you know what? Why didn't they get the opportunity? It's the same with Afobe. So if we've got talented players at the club, the youngsters, there's a lot of youngsters coming through at the moment. There's that Zellerlem. There's Dan Crowley. There's a couple of lads on loan. So these might be the next answer. You never know. So
they've got to be given the chance. And I don't think Afobe was given enough chance. I think he played a couple of Carling Cup games, didn't he? Emirates Cup games, yada yada. But he wasn't given.
I can't remember him starting a game, Craig. To be honest,
no,
I can't remember.
He wasn't given any bit of. But on that, we have a tweet there from Thomas Shelley. Why can't Arsenal sign a just-in-case striker? I think what he means by just-in-case striker is a Stephen Naismith. Now, I'm not talking about signing Stephen Naismith. That player you can bring off the bench that's happy to be part of the team, that's happy to play a bit part role.
Where are they? I actually thought for a minute there when you said that name, I thought you actually meant someone called Just In Case. I'm like, who the bloody hell's Just In Case? Who is he? I've never heard of him. Is he in the youth team? Nah.
Plays for Bognor Regis, I think.
It's fine in a minute, mate. At the end of the day, the best example of that, Man United probably had him a while back. And then they kind of had him in Chicharito, but then he got fed up and he wanted to go and get first team football, and as he's proven, he's too good for that bit part stuff. So you just can't. You've got to go all in or nothing, really.
All or nothing.
In that.
I'm old enough to remember Brian McDermott, who was a super sub. He used to come on, and every time he came on, he scored a goal. And then there was a player at Reading a couple of years ago as well that every time he came on, he scored a hat trick. Liverpool had a very good super sub in the year. They're hard to come by. They're like gold dust. A player that's prepared to sit on the bench and then get 20 minutes. You know, they don't come along very often. So,
Yeah.
it's a tough one.
What I will say, if they banish the offside rule and allow goal hanging, I'll gladly do the job.
For nothing.
Me too.
For nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just get me some food after the game.
I could just imagine you actually leaning up against the post with a can of ready salted Pringles, packet of donuts, just waiting for the balls to come along.
Just waiting for the ball to come over.
Yeah.
Running off, doing a knee slide with a tin of Pringles in the hand.
Yeah. Okay, lads. So, a good performance, I think we can say today. A few mistakes, a few bits and pieces there that could be worked on. But today, I'm very impressed with the performance. I'm impressed with a lot of individual players today, namely Robbie, Campbell, and Chamberlain. That's up for discussion, but I thought he played well today. So we rock on to the next round in the defence of the FA Cup. Hopefully we can win it the third time. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that if we win it a third time, we get to keep it, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, get to keep it. No one else gets the grubby mitts on it.
That's it, and we can rename it the Arsenal Cup.
Well, it's already the Emirates FA Cup now.
That's it.
That's
And of course, a few seasons ago, no one wanted to win the Emirates Cup, did they?
exactly.
Yeah.
Who was your man of the match today, Craig? Just out of interest.
Joe Campbell.
Yeah. DT?
Joe Campbell, definitely. I thought everything about his game today was brilliant. Even those little through balls, they were perfectly weighted. His tracking back, his attacking play was great. Yeah, Joe Campbell for me today. And I was sitting there and be honest with you, when that ball was coming to him for the goal that he scored, I thought that was going over the roof. When I saw it, I even kind of lurched forward and went, bloody hell. It was a fantastic composed finish. And it just goes to prove again that he can do it. Look at that finish. Look at that goal he scored against Swansea. Brilliant finish. Great finish. It proves he can do it. And I hope that he gets further chances to improve, because I really think in the last, 8 to 10 weeks, the difference in that boy is unbelievable. And I think that's got a lot to do with his confidence.
So Joel Campbell then, yeah?
Joe Campbell, yeah.
All right.
You?
Oh.
I'd say Giroud for me.
Get out of here.
No chance. Jesus. No, I'd say Hector Bellerin for me.
Good shout, mate.
I think he stepped up in that last 30 minutes when he had to, created 2 assists. You kind of sit there when Ozil's missing and going, who's going to take his place? Well, today that was Bellerin that took his place in terms of setting up the goals. And I think that overall, defensively, he was good. The way he bombs forward was good. It was the Hector Bellerin of old. Yeah, I thought he had a really solid display today for me.
Mems, man of the match for yourself, mate.
Sorry, mate. I'm going 2-1 with DT here, mate. I'm going with Bellerin as well. So I thought he was fantastic. The 2 assists, I thought his work rate was fantastic. So I agree with my man DT. I think Bellerin stole the show.
Okay, and then for everyone who's watching, this is the last time you'll see DT and Mems on this. You can't be going against the host. No, it's all opinion, and of course that's what it's all about. If we all had the same opinion, we wouldn't have nothing to talk about.
I would just like to say that our accounts were hacked, and that weren't really us.
No.
Found out about it the next day. We was actually out that night for a romantic meal. Didn't find out until the next morning when we woke up. Sorry. Watch how many people take that seriously.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that'll be the new Twitter scandal for next week. Now, Robbie has finished his filming his interviews outside the Emirates Stadium, interviewing different people, as you know. They are going to start being uploaded as soon as we come off air. So, thanks for everyone who's watched live. I hope this show was a bit more positive for you. I know in the last one you thought we were being a bit negative, but like I said before, if Arsenal play well, and we win a game and everything's positive, then we'll be positive. But
exactly.
It's going to be, even today, the team played well. It's a positive result, a positive performance, but there were still a few players who underperformed. They're talking points. We've got to talk about it. That's what this show's all about.
And what did I say to you last week? If you want positive, get Charlie Sheen on.
Yeah, so on that note, like I said, thanks for watching. Share the video far and wide. And remember to come over to my channel, the Gooner Talk. Search it on Twitter. The subscription link is down below in the description. I have these two boys on it very regularly. So if you want to come over to the channel, previews, reviews, question and answers, etc., etc. And you can follow me also on Twitter at the Gooner Talk. So next time I see you for Time Added On, which will be Wednesday evening after the Liverpool game, my thanks to DT, my thanks to Mems, and until I see you again, up the Arsenal.